with the troll.
Hey, today I want to talk about this very important topic to me. You ready for more Cobra Kai talk?
Yeah.
Listen, Cobra Kai will not bow to the woke mob.
I thought you were going to say never die.
Okay, yeah, Cobra Kai never dies, and Cobra Kai never bows to the woke mob. They don't do either, and I want to give them credit on this, all right, guys? I really think this is an important topic, actually. Check this out.
Yeah.
In a day and age where so many other TV shows and movies they're not representing normal real life anymore, right? They're apologizing for everything. They're pretending that... God, we'll get into each individual thing. We got a lot of reasons here, but they're pretending that the way people interact is something other than the way people actually interact.
Right, exactly,
right?
yes.
And so we're all kind of fucking tired of it. Those of us that have been around for a little while are just sort of sick of like having to feel like you're on pins and needles just watching a movie or a fucking TV show.
Yeah.
Where no one, even lawmakers now are like, we have to change the language in the law. We can't say mother anymore. We got to say birthing person.
Oh, I hate that more than anything.
It's getting so, well, it's not getting, it's dumb. It's just a dumb thing. Just talk like normal people. You don't have to restructure the way society communicates. Mm-hmm. So I love that while so many other TV shows and movies are all making these weird sidesteps, the way Star Wars did, right?
Yeah.
The way Star Wars was like, oh, we don't like masculinity. We don't like male heroism.
Yeah.
No, we don't like working towards stuff.
Yeah.
We just all of a sudden wake up and we have magic powers if we're female.
Yeah.
And that's, you know what I mean?
It doesn't try to push an agenda or make things so, utopian, what in some people's view is utopian, so that it's unrealistic because, I look around at my interactions in daily life, at work and just out in the world and then I see, the shows that are on TV and things like that and the movies and the ones that get like really, really woke feel just like they're complete fantasy. I can't even relate to them because in the real world, which is where we live, life isn't like that. And there isn't anything wrong with the way that life is lived. So I kind of appreciate that Cobra Kai doesn't go to that extreme, and they're keeping it very real.
Yeah, we're getting into the examples in a second here, but I think a final point before we do is Cobra Kai is very comfortable just embracing who we all are as people, goods, bads, flaws, whatever the fuck.
Right. Yeah.
Just it's realistic in that way. Is it a cartoony show in other ways? Yes. It's a little odd that Sam LaRusso can jump, I don't know, 8 nates high and 5 nates long or whatever over that building. But the point is the show keeps
Not
it
always real.
Yeah, right. But it keeps it real when it comes to their language and the characters and the humanity of the show.
And the relationships.
So some of you are probably thinking, what do you mean? Well, we got a few fucking examples for you, don't we? All right. Let's start with the most vague of all our examples, then we'll get more specific.
Okay.
Let's want to just start with Johnny in general.
Oh, I mean, Johnny, he just, that character just represents the whole thing from start to finish. So since his very first scene in season 1, episode 1, all the way through episode 4, he's just very consistently unwoke, which is very refreshing, actually. He's raw, he's real, he's not apologetic. He's very old school masculinity. And I think the reason that stands out for this character is because today's media world, entertainment media, everything, spends so much time and effort trying to squash actual masculinity, to the point that you almost forget what it really looks like or feels like. So, so that's what Johnny represents for me when we're talking about this topic.
Yeah, and so that's a little more vague, and there were a lot. Look, Johnny's got his flaws, all right? Everybody does. Mm-hmm. And, of course, the show is part comedy, too. So, like in season 1, Johnny was a little more laughed at. And I think as the series went on, he still gets laughed at, but he's taken more and more seriously and he's a little bit less cartoonish. Mm-hmm. Season 1, he was more of a cartoon and more of like a child. And now we're seeing a lot of development. We're seeing him, look, in the end here in season 4, and if you're watching in the future, forgive us, we're only on season 4 right now, but we see Johnny, going right after Miguel, going out to Mexico, like doing a brave thing immediately. Yeah. Where you can laugh at someone like Johnny all you want, but that's a masculine good thing to do, to drop everything and go help his friend. I'm going to say friend, but Miguel's, kind of like a son to him.
Yeah, he's a friend, he's a son, he's a he's someone important in Johnny's life.
Yeah, and Johnny's just dropping everything and going to take care of him, through hell or high water. And you don't really see that with these fucking modern day pussies who want to play it like just being a nice gentleman is so important. But then again, they're never in a million years going to have the balls to go do something like that.
Yeah.
So anyway, let's get off Johnny since
you
that's
sounded like Johnny just there.
I probably did. Yeah. Let's get off that. Let's get into more specific stuff. Okay.
Sure.
So there was a moment when Tori and Piper fought in season 4.
Yeah.
By the way, guys, in case you're new to the channel, if you're new to the channel, thank you. But we also spoil everything. So you don't want to be here with this video if you don't want us spoiling all Karate Kid, Cobra Kai, all kinds. Star Wars, apparently. We pointed that out.
That's our way.
Yeah, this is what we do. We spoil stuff. So Tori versus Piper. They had a little fight inside the dojo.
Yeah, a
sparring match. Yeah, it wasn't like a angry fight. But Piper, you remember, Piper's bisexual. And she made a little comment at the end there to Tori where she said something like, "Oh, that was fun. We should do that again." Like being
very flirty.
Yeah, very flirty, making clear she wants to eat her pussy.
Oh, God.
And Piper said it, not me.
She didn't even say it.
And I think she did. Watch the show again. And Tori says to Piper, what did she say exactly? It was like pretty demeaning.
What did Tori say?
Yeah, what did she say back?
Oh, don't flatter yourself.
Yeah, she said, "Don't flatter yourself." And she had that shitty look on her face. Yeah. The general tone there was, fuck you, right? It was like
derision.
And it's so, the last few years of TV and movies have been so the way that like you can't ever insult someone or show that you're not interested if they're gay or bisexual or anything like that, because now somehow we're going to pretend that means you're insulting gay people or you're insulting bisexual people, which couldn't be further from the fucking truth. If Tori treated Piper no differently than she would have treated a guy hitting on her, right?
Yeah.
If one of the guys there said that to Tori, like, "Yeah, we should do that again," she'd have said the same thing.
Yep.
So I think that was good. That was honest. And I think it was brave. And that's why I want to give Cobra Kai credit, because I'm sure that was a meeting in the writer's room. I'm sure someone said, "Hey, isn't that going to come off as anti-gay?" And someone, probably Ralph Macchio, said, just because I know how he is, probably said, "I don't give a fuck. It's not anti-gay. If Tori wants to say that, she can say she's not being anti-gay."
Yeah.
So if you're listening to this, guys, or you're gay or bisexual, we don't care. We in no way have any problem with anybody of any kind.
Yeah.
But we don't like watching our TV and our movies and everything else have to start pretending like something's insulting when it's not. And that's what I'm in favor of here.
Yeah, it's like the Daniel the racist scene.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and he rightly points out, "I'm not a racist. This is Mr. Miyagi's favorite song." And people were accusing him of being
culturally inappropriate.
Culturally appropriating.
Yeah,
by using Asian music in the background of his commercial.
And by the way, in that example, can I point something out real quick?
Sure.
Here? Do you realize, guys, that for the longest time, it was the opposite? You would be considered racist if you never played Mr. Miyagi's music. People would say things like...
if you put American music to that or contemporary music or something.
The left is always pissed off. They would have said to Daniel... Really, I'm not making a joke here. They really would have said, "Well, all you ever put is American music. How come you never have Asian music, especially over something like this?" So here he is playing Asian music.
Then you're whitewashing.
Then he's whitewashing. They call him Daniel the racist. I mean, and that was another great example of that, because the show didn't, I don't know, they went out of their way to point out how dumb that was. But they showed you that Daniel's intent was the furthest thing from racist. Daniel loves Mr. Miyagi more than his own family.
Right? Yeah.
I think if Daniel had to choose between Mr. Miyagi or Anthony LaRusso, he would pick Mr.
Goodbye,
Miyagi.
Anthony.
Goodbye, Anthony. You're on a different show now. Mr. Miyagi's back, baby.
Yeah.
They did. All of Karate Kid 2 took place in Okinawa. The only white person in the whole fucking movie was Daniel. You know what I mean?
Yep.
I mean, what the hell are we talking about here, guys? Clearly, anyway, it's so silly.
Yeah.
A couple more examples.
Yes.
This is my favorite. Anytime they want to have a laughable guy on this show, and I don't mean like Armand or someone you can just have a small laugh with.
He's fun.
But anytime there's a guy who you just are supposed to immediately go, "Oh, what a douche, get him out of here." They don't go to the tropes that other shows and movies do, where they get like a Southerner and try to pretend like he's dumb, because apparently people from the South are supposed to be dumb now, which is so just ridiculous. Such a silly stereotype. So illogical. Or you get someone who's like a gun nut and they go, they try to laugh at the gun nut. Yeah. That's what the left always wants to do.
Right.
What does Cobra Kai do every single time? They get someone with total libtard traits. every libtard stereotype. They got the bow tie, they're effeminate, their hair is just prissy perfect, they're all dressed up with nowhere to go, scarves, shit like that. They always take, they every time. And the example that stands out the most, well, there's a few, but the biggest examples are at the beginning of season 4 when Terry Silver is hosting that party.
Yes.
And that guy has like the bow tie and he's just such a typical leftist. Yeah. And there's also that scene where Johnny and Daniel, also in season 4, they're at a bar and they're talking and Johnny's kind of getting loud. Yeah. And all Johnny's doing is he's getting a little loud and he's cursing a little and he's being a little bit angry, right? It's not a big deal. And that fucking nerd bartender comes up and he's like, hey, I'm going to have to ask you to... And the guy's got
keep it down.
The nerdiest mustache, the nerdiest attire. He's coming off like such a pussy. And what does Johnny do?
Shut the fuck up.
We talked about this in our favorite quotes video, guys. Go find the favorite quotes video, or favorite moments it was. But Johnny just goes, shut the fuck up. Beat it. Get out of here. And the guy does. And like that moment... They could have made the guy not look so libtarded, but they deliberately made him look. I mean, I bet whoever does their design, the costume design, just had a blast saying, "Let's make this guy the most leftist maniac you could." He's got like 100 vaccinations, and he's like, "Oh my god!" He's just, I mean, like they made him look so perfectly, exactly that stereotype. So to me, that was funny as hell because a lot of us are so sick of it leaning the other way. You know, it's really getting old, and that's a douchebag. That's someone you should laugh at. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's the kind of trope you laugh at. Anyway, that was funny. How about just the old school language on the show in general? Like, they reference heterosexual oral sex a lot. A lot of jokes about blowjobs.
There's a lot of that in seasons 1 and 2.
Right? Yeah, a lot of that. A lot of blowjob jokes. You know, they got a character named Penis Breath. They've got, I mean, it's okay for them to do that and to not feel like that's somehow not being inclusionary enough, right? Like they don't mind just saying, yeah, we joke about heterosexual activity. It's fucking fine, you know? And I like that. I think that's a good, healthy thing to be able to do. You're not putting anybody down, blah, blah, blah. How about the tournament actually saying in season 4 that they needed to have a girls division because they didn't approve of guys beating up girls?
Yeah.
Now, when you look at what's going on in the world today, it's the opposite,
of women's
right?
Sports.
They're letting men just say they're women, and it's just crazy what's going on. So I love that Cobra Kai is just like, yeah, we know what's going on in the world. We're not taking part of it. We're not going to have a man. They're separating the genders, and that's it. And I think that's a good thing.
Yeah.
On the show. Well, I think it's good that the show is being honest about these things. That's what I'm happy about.
Yeah.
And just heterosexual stuff in general and cis norms and all this, they're not apologizing for any of that. They're not doing an episode where Johnny has to wonder if maybe he's gay and shouldn't be with Allie or Carmen. You know what I mean? And Daniel's just, he's okay. He's with a woman and they don't like feel the need to crowbar in stuff about him. You know, they're just, they're okay with just, these are the characters we have. And that's it.
Yeah.
You know, and so I think this is just a great show. I give them a lot of credit. Even Johnny's violence. You know, I'm thinking back also to season 4, where when Johnny was training for his fight with Daniel, Johnny's like, remember how cartoony it was? He goes on the beach and like steals the guy's ball. Yeah. Like I think he threw it at him or something. Yeah. And then on the street, he grabs a guy by the back and just throws him down.
Broke the scooter or whatever that thing was.
Yeah, the scooter, that whole thing. It's very comedic, manly violence. And instead of pretending like it's sending a bad message, blah, blah, blah. By the way, click the like button, guys. If you're liking this video, click the fucking like button and subscribe. But I think you get what I'm saying about the violence and Johnny's whole thing. They're not afraid of masculinity. The whole show's about fighting. They just don't give a fuck. It's an old school show. They're really being brave, and I want to give them a lot of credit for it. So if you want to give them credit too, comment, like, and subscribe to this channel.
Yes.
We talk more Cobra Kai than anybody. More than Cobra Kai Kid, more than Cobra Kai Nation, more than Cobra Kai Theory. We are more Cobra Kai than any of the official Cobra Kai channels.
It's our emphasis.
It's what we're all about. Anyway, we'll be back tomorrow, guys. It's been fun. Comment. Let us know what you think of the show. Is it not woke enough? Is it too woke? Whatever the fuck. Just let us know your opinions, okay? We'll see you tomorrow.